Every generation has a moment where they come just to have some fun.
Atlanta is the mecca for black people in America.
It has multiple historically black colleges.
In the 80s,
we said, let's plan a picnic during spring break.
Jamaal Finkley, BlackTree TV, So Def alumni, FreakNik alumni, 94, 95, 96.
That's right.
What's going on, y'all? Hello,
right.
Mr. Luke Campbell and JD, man. This is like a great interview to have you two, because like just watching the documentary, I never put the two of you together and thought about the impact together that you guys have had on, Atlanta and FreakNik and the monumental stuff y'all did with music. I mean, of course, everybody knows your two Supreme Court cases, Luke and JD. Like, I always tell people that Jay-Z wasn't even commercial until you made, Money Ain't a Thing. Like, that was like his first radio hit. I think about all the stuff that you guys have impacted the industry with. But talking about FreakNik, how did y'all feel like reliving, seeing this footage from people's high 8 tapes that have been in their garage and looking back at this time that's always in my memory? I always replay these years. How did it feel like to look at this product being made?
Well, when you just summed it all up with your experience through the music, through the culture, by how you just laid it all out. I mean, from the things that JD did, the iconic figure that he is, and the mayor of Atlanta, everything that you said kind of brings you to this point. There's no stories told about the South. You just heard about this. And so until this story is being told of FreakNik, now you're going to get a piece of rich history, and you're going to tie in a lot of loose ends, not just because somebody mama might be on there shaking her butt, or somebody daddy might be on there dancing or whatever. It's not really, that's a part of it, but the rich history of it all is what you're going to be able to see in this piece right here, which is really important, because you'll see how hip hop in the South just went crazy, just blew up through FreakNik, and after FreakNik, you'll see the ups and downs and trials and tribulation of it. But at the end of the day, you'll see that the black mecca of entertainment, which is Atlanta, something that JD spearheaded, how it came to be through this doc, because the same thing you saying, nobody knows those stories. Nobody knows none of those stories, but they're going to start getting a ton of them right now, and this is going to be the first one.
JD, like, I got a little of a different recollection, because I kind of remember there being like that HBCU, AUC picnic at Exchange, Glenwood Hills, before it went down to Piedmont Park. I think they had one right before that, like early. But in this FreakNik story, like how many people have y'all scared just thinking that they're gonna be caught on this footage? Because I've had people like, yo, when I screened it, it's like, yo, am I on it? Am I on it? Like, did they catch me? My cousin LaFay is on it. Like, how many people are shaking in their boots, waiting for FreakNik, the greatest party never told, to come out and thinking that they're gonna get exposed for doing something that they shouldn't be on camera doing?
I mean, I would say a lot of people, it was something I made a video, then they made a response on TikTok, then Luke made a video, the response, did they response, and I think that's when it went really crazy, and people, women, girls were saying, basically just telling, like, listen, I'm sorry y'all gonna see me, just snitching on themselves for no reason. But I mean, I also feel like we in a cultural time where people think that everybody's about clickbait. And if you know my career and the way I put out music and the way I love Atlanta and represent my city and the way I love hip hop, we're not making a clickbait documentary. You know what I mean? We're not making a documentary that's just getting ready to show women being handled in the wrong way. We're not showing a documentary that's vulgar in any kind of ways other than just like people having fun. You know, I was just watching on my Instagram, TMZ, they posted a video of kids that couldn't get to Miami, so they went to Fort Lauderdale Beach, and they out there fighting on the beach, right? And this is what TMZ is showing. And I'm saying literally, I just watched this, and I start thinking about how these kids are fighting because they don't have no music, they don't have nobody showing them. We gotta have fun, right? Wherever Luke was, regardless of whatever y'all thought was happening at the party, the overall consensus was you was having fun. Whether you was from Detroit, you was from New York, wherever you was from, where you was from the West Coast, if you was from the West Coast, you never saw this before. So the last thing you wanted to do at a Luke Skywalker party was fight. You wanted to have fun. You wanted to see these girls that was in their videos. You wanted to see all of this activity. So you was going to these parties almost as a you know, like a theme park. Like I want to see this. I gotta go see this. I gotta see what's happening. And today, when people keep asking us if we could bring FreakNik back, I feel like that's one of the things that's missing. You know, one of the things that's missing is the music being a driver, right? The music being a driver, because like I said, these records were so upbeat and they was moving, and you couldn't do nothing but dance. Now you go to the club, people don't even dance. Like people just standing around looking at each other. That was not happening during FreakNik. And I feel like that was a big part of this, because you couldn't go to the club and just stand around, because the music, you know what I'm saying? We had to create a dance called the Big Head Bounce. It was just like you had to move. It was something that you had to do, or you shouldn't even be there if you wasn't dancing, right? And that's the music. So I feel like the hand in hand part of it and all of that, I think people have to understand that that's, like he said, these are stories that have never been told, and the story of the South and how music and how hip hop music really has been incorporated with the culture. That story has never been told, ever. We don't have a Breakin' from Atlanta. We don't have a Beat Street. We don't have a Wild Style. We don't have Crush Groove. We don't have Boys in the Hood. We had ATL, but ATL was a isolated thing that happened as like kids in Atlanta, but not about the culture and how the South and hip hop and all of that came to life. We never had movies or any of this to ever come out. And some of it's our fault. I won't say a lot of it. A lot of it's our fault as the guys that led this way. I think from my perspective, I was told that I wasn't going to be here. So my focus was more or less put out as much music as possible. And some kind of way I thought that people were going to pick up on it. But even when I just hear you start the interview saying that Jay-Z had his start from Money and a Thing, nobody ever will say that, because it was no story told. You didn't see the story of Jermaine Dupri creating to get to Money and a Thing. You never saw the story. All you heard is JD dad was in the music business. That is like, you know what I mean? That ain't even my story. It's part of it, but it's just to show you how loosely people just talk about things. And I wanted to be a part of this so that myself and Luke's history can be told the right way, and people start putting the dots, connecting the dots.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say before I go, man, I really appreciate you. You started my career. I was with Artistic Control. I was with Phil Ransom. I was Lil Jon's assistant. I was there when y'all did On Top of the World. I was there when you did my boo. I've been on Lambert. I've been on Dix Leon. I've been all around it. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate what you did for me, JD. I wouldn't be here where I'm at in my career without what you started. And Luke, what you've done for censorship, what you did for the party, all the music, all the parties that I jammed in, and the Doodle Brown and everything, man, life wouldn't be the same without you, man. So I really appreciate y'all. And JD, you want to tell this story, man? We can get together, man. Me, you, I can do this with you, man. So we'll connect.
Thank you.